Welcome, everyone. It's a Wednesday. I am Chris Gore. This is Hollywood on the Rocks. I'm here with you on a Wednesday afternoon. I'll be joined very shortly by Alan Ng. He and I are fresh from Midsummer Scream. We were in Long Beach this weekend at a horror convention, one of the biggest Halloween conventions ever. That's right. I'm already thinking about Halloween. It's August. I know. But look around you. You might find a Party City already open, selling Halloween stuff. I'm all about it. Today on the show, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. We're going to be talking about it. I don't know. I think Alan and I might disagree on this one. Going to be interesting. Plus, a whole bunch of news stories from the world of Hollywood, which is kind of on fire at the moment. And plus, your chat, comments, and questions. Let's get things started on a Wednesday. Hollywood on the Rocks is back and blazing, and I can't find the video where's the video that I was going to play? There's a video that I was going to play right and typical Alan's not here. He's not here. So.
And she is the first female action hero ever in a movie.
Well, look, he's 19 years old. She's 32.
Whoa!
I think at this point we just have to call for Alan.
Alan!
Bye. What took you so long to get here? What was going on?
Yeah. Wow. No, I'm sorry. I was just running so late, considering I'm always here a half an hour early setting things up.
Right. You're there early. If
you're literally at the last minute.
If I'm late, I blame Gary Beekler at Nerdrotic because on Wednesdays today we're just gonna have a 90-minute show. It's just gonna be 90 minutes, and we went 2.5 hours. But it's always fun. I feel like when I'm on that show, I have so much to say, and I don't always have the time. And it's just fun to hang out with Gary on a stream. And also, your daughter.
Hi, Dad. I miss you.
Your daughter is on that show as well.
I mean, you spend more time with my daughter than I do. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Well, one day maybe you'll be on FNT. Who knows? That'll happen. But we've got a lot to talk about today. A bunch of things, news stories, big stuff going on. Let's see who's in the chat real quick. We're going to go through these. Alan Horkin is here. Michael Bay produced Turtle films were bad. I felt myself getting dumber every second I watched, but they were actually fun. Alan Horkin says, Nerdrotic Nooner is over. Chris is cooking a cheeseburger, and I'm ready for Film Threat. That's true. I actually cooked a cheeseburger, cast iron skillet. Boom. I was just like, after a certain point, it's like I have to eat something because usually I eat at noon every day. And I don't know. I just moved my computer into the kitchen. I just kept going. So there you go. Mike Waite says, the other day I drove from Seattle up to Langley, British Columbia. I saw Oppenheimer's 70mm IMAX. Absolutely a masterpiece, says Mike Waite. Thank you for that comment. Solomon Thornton, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy in the 90s is the best version of the Turtles. Dom T, if Vanilla Ice isn't on the soundtrack, I'm out. Squibs, Star Wars is dead. Marvel is dead. Star Trek is dead. DC is dead. Indie is dead. Now TMNT is dead. Well, let's just say we have only done one trial. We can only do so many trials a year. So there you go. Solomon Thornton says studios need to give the IP to directors that care for them. It's similar to the 70s Hollywood when corporations hired directors to adapt books, and that was a success. They should do that now. Okay. And then the Beast 808, aloha and blessings, everyone. Aloha, that must mean you're in Hawaii. Aloha, Hawaii.
Or he's Hawaiian.
Hawaiian. Either way, that is my dream vacation. I have never been to Hawaii, and I want to go. Thank you for that. Kyle 3, how was Chris's cheeseburger? I didn't get to really enjoy it. I kind of scarfed it down and had to get ready because I got to kind of set up my lights and find a t-shirt, and there you go. I like Alan's t-shirt today.
Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie.
Well, by the way, Friday the 13th is in October this year. So not only do we have Halloween month, October is Halloween. I put up my decorations in late September. I have more Halloween decorations than Christmas decorations. I'm all about it. So what about you, Alan? Are you a Halloween guy?
I used to be. When the kid came, we did Halloween. There was one year where her and her friends, I think I walked around about 7 Elses in our group. But the nice thing is I live in a traditional American neighborhood, and I think 4 of the houses actually try to do a haunted house during Halloween.
John Manaling. Hey, John Manaling. Always like to hear from you. Member for 12 months. Hail FT. Saw Barbie this weekend, and lo and behold, it is based AF. Loved it. Well, let me just say about that Barbie. Watch Az's heel versus babyface review. He has helped me to see something that may not have been in some things that you can. I feel like sometimes these messages in the films, they're in there if you look for them. And sometimes you really need to kind of like, it reminds me of when I used to write film essays in college to try to prove my point. Yeah. I'd have sort of a point of view and whatever. Like sometimes you're shoehorning it in, but I think Az got it right. And I saw
the video, and the impression I got was Az thinks it was unintentional.
Yes, unintentional. So, but maybe, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think anything is unintentional.
I don't know. I think I'll say more incompetence in the way that they were trying to tell a feminist story, and in return, they wound telling a masculine story.
But if you look at Lady Bird, I think that Greta Gerwig is more traditional in her life. Mm-hmm. If you look at Lady Bird, really not a film for me, but I did enjoy it. It's a coming of age story about a girl. She wants to go to college. She's kind of navigating school and boys and whatnot. And, even in Greta Gerwig's real life, she is married with children.
Yeah.
When you look at like how certain actors conduct themselves in real life, I think it does have an effect on the films they make. Christopher Nolan, same way. He's married to his producer, and they have children together. So that matters. You see the world differently. Yeah. In particular, if you have kids, you see the world differently.
I mean, I'll even throw in Little Women. There's a legit romance in Little Women. It wasn't as much as it's a feminist tale. It wasn't a hammer over the head tale.
Right. A few more chat thing from our members here. The Beast 808 member for 1 month. Aloha, Frank and X-Ray's dad. Remain blessed, gentlemen. Well, thank you for that. And also for our members with your member comments, this week we are giving away codes to Enter the Dragon is in 4K Ultra H, the digital copies. We are giving away, I think it's you check the community tab. I'm just going to throw up the codes. First come, first serve. And then also we have codes for something else. I think it's East of Eden and another classic film. And in addition, I just like to give things away to our members. So we're giving away digital codes for movies. So there you go. Vinzinger, aka El Otaku, aka the Weeb Pillar, member for a month. I want to recommend you watch Gundala. Alan, please look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking that up.
Thank you for that. Kimberly Moore has become a YouTube member. Well, thank you, Kimberly. Pay attention to the members tab. We're doing giveaways this week, and I just like to give stuff away. Matthew Hammond, I knew that was you. I gave you the shout out on the Nooner, and I appreciate your presence here. I'm glad you watched the Timcast IRL episode with Angel Studios, even after sounding a little hostile when I mentioned it. Their approval process for selecting movies sounds exciting. It's different, but Legion M has kind of a model that's similar. They choose their movies differently, but I really like it. I learned a lot. Timcast IRL last Thursday's episode is an interview with the 2 of the founders from Angel Studios, and it was very eye-opening. 2 big takeaways from it. And Angel Studios is the company that released Sound of Freedom. Two big takeaways. One, the founders of Angel Studios, I forget the guy's name, so my apologies. He basically said he thinks audiences are tired of nihilism. Nihilism is just, people are just sick of everything is dark. The world's going to end. Everything is awful. Like, audiences, they want to go to the movies for optimism, for hope. Additionally, they said that when they were at CinemaCon, that so many distributors, what Hollywood doesn't understand, so all the Hollywood studios go to CinemaCon in Vegas to kind of pitch their projects to theater owners. Theater owners, for the most part, are based. They're from all over the country. They're from the South. They're from the Midwest, from the East. They're from everywhere. They have variety of opinions. Not everyone believes the prevailing opinions of those in Los Angeles. And so it's an interesting mix. And he said that privately theater owners were coming up to them and saying things like, I like what you're doing. Keep going. I like what you're doing. Look at how much money that film has made.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have
but you gotta admit, these theater owners, all they're concerned about is earning money, raising money, selling tickets. And they feel like that they have to show movies that the masses want to see. And rather than, what people really want is the lectures and the messaging. And,
right.
And people just don't understand that. And so, these movie theaters, I tell you.
Gotcha.
But I think you mentioned it, but movie theaters, these local ones, they have the pulse on their communities. They know what their communities want to watch, and that's the movies they want. And unfortunately, Hollywood is not giving them those movies.
Thank you, Matthew Hammond, for the $9.99 and the support. I appreciate it. I always love when I see people pop up when I'm on another show. It's like, oh, I've heard your name. I've talked to you on other streams. So thank you for that, Matthew. Much appreciated.
So does Crunchy Beaver show up on other streams?
Where is Crunchy Beaver today? Where's Crunchy Beaver when we need Crunchy Beaver? Andrew 1234545 got the Blu-ray last week. Thanks, Gore. Fantastic. Yes, Attack of the Doc is, I believe we will be completed shipping everything this week. So if you ordered Attack of the Doc from shop.filmthreat.com, and you can go there now, it's still available, shop.filmthreat.com. Go there. The Blu-ray is available. Pick up yourself a Film Threat t-shirt like the one I'm wearing now. Check it out. And yeah, check out the extras. Try to find all the Easter eggs. Love it. We are going to be doing, I'm announcing this now, we're going to be doing a watch party for Attack of the Doc, probably end of August, early September. I want to bring on the guys I made the movie with, maybe some other special guests like Zach Selwyn, among others. We're going to watch the movie live and comment on it. So there you go. Yeah. Awesome. So glad you got it. Pirate Queen has been a member for 9 months. Nice to have Hollywood on the Rocks back. I like Hollywood on the Rocks because it's much more relaxing show. Like,
yeah,
it's like,
and we're not cramming everything into the Friday show. That's the
right. Yeah. So I feel like we can kind of chill, get into some topics. We have some big topics today. You're going to be shocked at what we're going to be discussing. But thank you, Pirate Queen. Appreciate that. Jay Russell says she has children, talking about Greta Gerwig, not married to Noah Baumbach, though. Yeah, okay, I did not know that. I assumed they were married because they have kids. But there's a family. Till I hear otherwise, it's not a throuple like Taika Waititi. So let's, there you go. Hannibal Grimm, I DM'd you guys a picture of the last time I gave out a movie. Enjoy. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Hannibal Grimm. Yeah, we I don't know. I just like to give things. I always loved when I was a kid when I got something for free, or just got I don't know. It's just always fun. Pilgrim Media. Hey, good to have you here for 2. My Anchor AMC closed. Not good for the mall. Oh, that sucks. Bummer. I'm going to tonight. I will be seeing Gran Turismo at the AMC in Santa Anita at the Westfield Mall. 7 p.m. show. I'll be there.
Is that a fan screening?
What's that? It's a fan screening. The movie doesn't open until the end of the month. I thought I would just see it early.
Yeah.
Tell you about it. It's not in IMAX, but there you go. Jacob P says nihilism, the new buzzword of the week. Well, it's not a new word, but I'm like, look, the Star Wars prequels were dark. It ended dark. That was then. but just nihilism in terms of everything. It's just, I feel like it's not a fresh take to say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but guess what? It's really dark. It's dark. Well, yeah. Next Critics Court when, says Jocelyn, when we get to 100,000 subs, we will announce the date for the new Critics Court, which will either be later this year or in 2024. But we're already working on it. Yeah. Oh, I've already got a playlist of videos. I'm collecting stuff, talking to Glenn about this. But thank you, Jocelyn. It's going to be at least a couple months. But once we hit 100,000 subs, we're 88,000 subs. Give us a couple months.
Yeah, hopefully a couple months, because I sure would hate to have to announce that sooner than a couple of months. So
right. Yeah, I would hate that. Will you guys be at Dragon Con in Atlanta? Thomas Payne for 2. I really want to go.
Yeah, I would love to go.
Dragon Con used to fly me out and list me as a special guest.
But then you started hanging out with the wrong crowd.
I don't know whatever. Like, look, I can buy a ticket. Tickets are still for sale.
Yeah.
I could just go of my own accord. Thomas, if I go, I'll let you know. But I might just reach out to Dragon Con and say something like, I would really love to attend Dragon Con. I have attended in the past. Pretty please? I don't know. They used to literally fly me and put me up. They'd make me work. I would do panels and stuff, but that's fair trade, in my opinion. So they weren't paying me any money to be there, just to be there. And comment here from Rumble, Aid Ellis 24. As much as I love the trial, it's perfect timing in the dog days to bring back midweek Hollywood on the Rocks. Well, thank you. We may actually, when the trial comes back, we might go to like 3 times a week, because I do love doing Hollywood on the Rocks.
Yeah.
So
and putting on a suit in the middle of summer was not fun.
No, it was not. Jake D for 15 of something. Alan, what is that even?
What? Oh.
Hey, Chris,
you're still a
it's
not like I can copy and paste that.
I have no idea. Hey, Chris, you're still a kid, so here's a few shekels for free. Oh, well, thank you. I love it. I love getting stuff for free.
Yeah. Is that Korean or is it?
I don't know.
It's hard. It's so small. That's the problem.
I don't know. We're going to talk Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I promise we will talk about it. However, I have a few other things that I would like to discuss. And so we're going to talk about those first. So I need to share screen on a story. So just give me a moment. The coming cinema apocalypse is here. We've been talking a lot about Hollywood's implosion. People bet on streaming in a big way. And it was not the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that everyone had hoped. So a guy that I happen to know, his name is Ted Hope. He has a Substack. Ted Hope is a filmmaker that you know. Ted Hope is a film producer whose work you love. Most famously, he produced a film called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And Ted Hope is, as am I, an optimist when it comes to this industry. There is always struggle when it comes to independent film. Always been struggle. So what I love about Ted is he recently authored a book. We follow each other on social media. I met Ted Hope at the Bahamas International Film Festival, where we were members of the jury. This is probably like I want to say like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But
late 90s.
Yeah. Like he has been someone who perseveres in independent film, and I follow his Substack. I will put a link to this story in the description of this episode. but I want to read this to you. I'm not going to read the entire thing. I'm going to read most of it because it applies to a lot of things we're talking about with regard to the strike. So the Cinemapocalypse is here. Let me start. Ted Hope. Look him up on look up Ted and his work on IMDb. Google just tedhope.substack.com. Follow his work. Here we go. I think it may be time to take out the crystal ball again. Last time we looked back on the past to see what may be coming. This time we are looking at where we are right now. I provided you the prepper's guide to the oncoming shitstorm so you can manage all right. I know you know I am a hopeful guy. I saw what you did there, Ted Hope. But perhaps it is worse than we expect. If it smells like chicken and tastes like chicken, is it chicken? I keep one earthquake bag in my car, one upstairs and one downstairs. If we still had offices, one would be there too. Each has its own unique book to read. We have to be prepared, right? So come with me now, sweet Sherlock, and let's examine the clues of where we might be going. So what is the now? That's always a good place to start, right? The truth is there are too many signs to count. Let's see, off the top of my head, I have 50 indicators that we are on the highway to hell, at least when it comes to the art form and business that we all have loved so deeply. Luckily, if I really thought movies were all that mattered, and I would have given it all up and not finished this post. And besides, we know we can build something better too. That is the work of the next 10 years, but oh, to be young again. Trigger warning. He puts a trigger warning on this, but his trigger warnings are usually humorous. Trigger warning: if you are prone to despair about the loss of things you once loved, the value of your work, or the greatest art form our world has ever created, you might want to skip the rest of this post. But on the other hand, how are you going to be ready to join the campaign for real change? We need to know where we stand. Maybe another cup of coffee first. Possible proof the cinema apocalypse is upon us. We are controlled by surveillance capitalism. Read the book, The Age of Surveillance Capitalism by Shoshana Zuboff. I've not read the book. There is a link in this Substack. The information age is over. This is number 2. The information age is over. The value of information has been destroyed. There is no reliable source for truth. Care to comment, Alan?
Absolutely true. Can't trust media. Can't trust, like you could trust Wikipedia. Can't trust anything on the internet. It's absolutely true.
You know what I'll say? Don't trust the Wikipedia entry about me. It's been edited several times by people who don't like me, and you can always see the bias in it. The defunct Film Threat magazine. It's like, we went from a print magazine to online. Many magazines have done this. Yeah. I have what's the opposite of rose-colored glasses? I have true. I'm looking for something beyond, what is the narrative of a story? Yeah. What is the angle? What are they trying to say to me?
Yeah. So yeah, to me, it's now that you can get canceled for saying men can have babies, tells you about the truth.
Well, and even somebody says here, can we trust Alan? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out, Alan. Let me continue reading this to you. And it is a very long piece. I will post the link in the description. This is something that has bothered me in particular. Number 3, we no longer have a counterculture. Mm-hmm. Or anything that can be the necessary cultural course corrector. I would disagree with that somewhat. I think that YouTube is where counterculture has migrated. There is still and look, I love counterculture. When I was a kid, lived by it. Punk rock music, punk rock, new wave. When it came to music, I loved anything 4AD label. The older folks in the audience will know what I'm talking about. So when it came to music, when it came to film, I would always go to the art house. When it came to comic books, I would read, I would read comic books like Yummy Fur by Chester Brown. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? It's Canadian comic book author and artist. So I love counterculture anything.
Right. But to say it's come to YouTube, I mean, censorship is not a word you associate with counterculture.
Exactly.
And I think that's the problem. YouTube is so big and we all go to it. Twitter was so big and we all go to it. And yet, you know, you're getting censored either way. Right. And that's the dangerous thing.
Number 4, media CEOs earn 9-figure salaries while the industry creative talent workers need to take Uber gigs. Fact check true.
Yep.
Number 5, further massive media consolidation is likely. Who's buying who this week? Regardless, it always ends with massive layoffs. Does it really have to be this way? Studios could easily give the WGA what they want, but won't even speak to them. Number 6, it is a fire sale on the legacy business of linear TV. Who's next on the list? Disney is talking about selling ABC and dumping it, as well as ESPN, for that matter. The podcast industry. Oh, sorry, Alan.
I was going to ask you, when was the last time you watched ABC, CBS, or NBC?
I know exactly when. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. I watch sports. I watch the Dodgers. I watch sports. I don't watch news on any sort of television. I will watch clips from local news on YouTube that are curated because there's really interesting stories sometimes. But I don't watch. I don't watch regular television.
Yeah, I'm all over YouTube. The last time I saw ABC was our Oscar livecast.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The podcast industry's boom and bust is our canary in the coal mine. And there's a link to a story in Vanity Fair after the podcast Gold Rush. Is audio too corporate to be cool? Interesting. I can attest to this. American theater is imploding before our eyes, and that's another canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
And then this is a link to a New York Times story. Why are people not going to Broadway? Probably because they've enforced this mask policy. The prices are prohibitively expensive, and entertainment is usually, if you're going to cut down on your budget, you're not going to stop buying food or gas or rent. You're going to stop spending money on entertainment, and theater is very expensive.
Yeah, and let's also put it this way. Broadway is either super woke or it's based on some existing IP. I mean, how many Broadway shows are based on movies, popular movies?
Right. Well, I do kind of want to see the Beetlejuice play. It's playing.
You better hurry up. Yeah.
All right.
We're seeing Into the Woods this weekend.
All right. I really want Alan to pay attention to this one. The creator economy only favors the platforms and only works for the highest selling artists. There is a chart here. I'm going to zoom in that tells you the payout per stream from each of these companies. Alan, would you read YouTube?
YouTube is 0.00069.
I knew I could count on you.
Yes.
I knew I could count on you. Continuing with this piece. Look, we have fun. We have fun just hanging out. So just to look at these numbers, it's kind of crazy. Spotify, 0.00437. Interesting. Number 10, big tech promises convenience and efficiency, and instead consistently undermines all that was once good about an industry or sector. Let me give you some examples. And there's a thing here about why we are striking. You can read this in the piece when I share it. Look at what big tech has done. It's captured the minds of kids, for the most part, teenagers, and contributed to rampant mental illness among teenagers with these black mirrors, right, that we all have. Secondly, big tech infiltrated the music industry and has basically just broken that model. And the entertainment industry, film and TV, streaming has effectively broken that model to the point where I was watching an Instagram post from a WGA writer who was saying, hey, years ago, I'd work for 10, 12 months of the year, made a really good living. Now I work 3 months of the year. I don't work enough months of the year because they've cut down the show orders to such a small degree that he's unable to get health care. It's something to keep in mind. AI, number 11. AI is a real threat to all film people's jobs. AI is a real threat to everyone's jobs. AI is a threat to our world. Number 12. Nobody wants to strike. When it comes to a strike, people are at their. What is that?
There, I am.
Alan, can you look that up? It's IAMI, IAMAHAIANG I am at the. Can you look that up, Alan?
Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Oh, I love the movie Network.
Yes.
That's what that's from. All right, continue. Breaking point. The fact that there are 2 of the American film unions at strike now is a very big thing. We all know the system is unfair, that it was built to be unfair, and the industry leaders only look out for themselves. Number 13, everyone is losing. Audiences, filmmakers, crew, exhibitors, and studios. And it is now built in such a way to promote that. As Mark Harris pointed out, 3 of the biggest players in the AMPTP, Netflix, Apple, and Amazon, have virtually no investment in the survival of movie theaters. This is very disconcerting. The rest are apparently dumb enough to shoot themselves in the foot and then shout, "Look at what the strikers made me do." In response to Kyle Buchanan, quote, "Studios will literally push big films to 2024, fritter away the momentum from Barbenheimer, imperil theaters still recovering from the pandemic, and take on countless millions in delayed related costs instead of just reopening negotiations to end the strike."
Yeah, I interviewed Michael Mendelsohn yesterday, Hollywood producer, indie films mostly, but yeah, we talked a lot about the strike, and I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but the indication I got from him was today was the magic day, the force majeure,
right?
And he thinks the writer strike will be done in September, and the actor strike will be done in November.
Right. Number 14, the studios don't even make enough films to keep the ecosystem working. That's 49 wide release movies scheduled in the next 6 months, 28 weekends, which was already not enough before they started pushing them back. Number 15, this is the DGA's AI protection, and they won by not joining the strike. Quote, "Employers may not use AI in connection with creative elements without consultation with the director or other DGA covered employees." End quote. "Consultation is far less than approval, sign off, or payment negotiated in good faith. Why would the DGA agree to this? This quote protection is pathetic." Number 16, only 41% of eligible DGA members bothered to vote on this new union contract. This means that only 35.6%, 67% of the DGA declared they were in favor. Vote was 87% in favor to 13% opposed, etc. Goes through the numbers of that. If they can't be troubled to even vote electronically, does anyone really care about our industry? Number 17, producing is no longer a viable career path. It was always iffy, but don't expect the best and the brightest to join this field anytime soon, unless significant more support is offered them. And if you didn't notice, producers generate more movies than anyone else. Alan, any comments on this? And it's a longer piece. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
It's hard not to feel nihilistic about what's
right. He gets a little positive at the end. I mean, the positive light at the end of the rainbow is, hey, the indie film world is here. You're going to see a lot more indies get wider releases.
No, I mean, if there's a bright side to the strike and everything that's going on, the shenanigans, is indie films are getting a chance. Just the fact that Sound of Freedom is opening in more theaters this week than less says something. And I think, indie films, they're not beholden to big studios. They are the stories of the creators. They are the truer stories.
beholden is not even a word.
I know. I'm making things up. Baby. There are words that must be made up. There are ideas and concepts where words just have to be made up, and I'm going to do that.
Well,
I'm going to make that my mission here at Film Threat.
There's more to this article. I'm going to put the link in the description, but follow Ted Hope on Substack and on social media. Just look up Ted Hope. Really fascinating piece. I just want to bring it to your attention. I am hopeful. Frankly, that's why I like Ted Hope, because he's not all doom and gloom in the industry. He's not Chicken Little. He's very realistic. And so I like that. But follow him and read the entire piece. And we'll continue to revisit this topic, probably on our Hollywood on the Rock show. Let's go to your comments and questions here. Crazy Cat says, so Chris and Alan are Broadway enthusiasts. Have to look at these guys sideways from now on. Come on, Les Mis.
Come on, I am classical Broadway. I'm not current modern Broadway.
Well, is Les Mis considered classical or modern? Probably more modern.
Well, it's a anomaly of modern musicals. I think Les Mis is kind of on that. It's like the crest between the two, classic and modern. Modern just sucks. I hate watch the Tonys every year, just to see how pretentious Broadway has become.
Let's see. More comments here. Gary's Beard Crabs for 5. What do you think of a movie that is a post-mortem of a bad movie? Think episodes mixed with the Pentagon Wars. It's an idea I've been working on. Oh, well, send us some. First of all, I love bad films. Okay. I have films that are guilty pleasures. I don't feel guilty in the least. But yeah, I would love to see that. If you make it, share it with us. Please share it with us. But we're going to switch gears here to talk about another topic. We're going to talk about another topic and something that's been going around. I need to read a press release that was put out. I received in a day 2 press releases. Very strange. And I'm going to share a video with you. Hopefully we don't get hit. Nothing happens from this. But I need to read. I'm going to read a portion of a press release. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a video with you. Here's the press release. Mattel to go plastic free by 2030 launches mycelia dolls with Daryl Hannah. On the heels of the release of the Barbie Mattel movie, the global leader in play and entertainment announced a groundbreaking commitment to stop using plastic entirely by 2030. This is the company that makes Barbie. They're going to make Barbie. I guess the idea is they're going to make Barbie with some other material. I'll read this, and then I'm going to share the video with you. The initiative aims to tackle the problem of plastic waste and its impact on children and environment. Mattel further pledges to support a federal ban on non-essential plastic use in the U.S. Goes on to say, quote, "We have made more than 1 billion plastic Barbies, and enough is enough," said Ynon Kreiz, CEO of Mattel. "With our plastic-free commitment, we denounce the empty promises of plastic recycling and take a bold step towards ecological sustainability. Only sustainably produced toys can provide sustainable joy. As a responsible company, we realize that Mattel's previous commitment to the use of 100% recycled plastic by 2030 would only serve to delay the release of plastic into the environment." Let's take a look at this video. I'm reading from the press release, which was sent to me yesterday. I'm going to share this. So just give me a moment. And we're going to watch this video together. I haven't seen this video.
Great.
What?
We're going to lose. Yeah, we're going to get struck for this one. I can
see.
Feel it.
It's mycelia Barbie. Let's check it out.
Once, when I was snorkeling in one of the most remote, pristine, and protected parts of the Pacific, I found this ancient barnacle and seaweed crusted Barbie doll. Barbie and I are about the same age, except she will never die. Really, during my lifetime, Barbie and over 1 billion of her friends have been abandoned in our landfills and waterways where they will live on forever. Unfortunately, we've all learned that plastic waste is everywhere. It's in the water we drink, the food we eat, even inside our bodies. And recycling won't fix it. I am proud to announce that by 2030, all Mattel toys will be plastic-free, starting with the iconic Barbie doll. In just a few years, Barbie will be made of totally compostable materials.
Okay, I think this is fake. Did I just get punked?
Oh, no, yeah, this...
Should I keep watching it?
Yeah, you think that Saturday Night Live is the one who produced this.
This looks like SNL. Here's what's weird. The world is so crazy now. Would you doubt that this could be real? I think this could. Okay, we're gonna watch a little bit more.
I mean, but just think, just understand the impact Barbie has had on the environment and why we are in the dire situation. And I do blame Barbie and Mattel for it. So yeah, keep playing.
Keep playing. Okay.
We'll also support a federal ban on all plastics in kids' toys and on single-use plastics. To mark this incredible shift, Mattel is releasing a new line of limited edition Eco Warrior Barbies, commemorating the...
All right, this is fake.
Greta Thunberg.
Wait, there's a Greta Thunberg?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh.
Right. I see the point it's trying to make. This is fun. But the press release I got, what's weird about it, the press release looks like it's very serious. It has the Mattel logo. It's got it's written like a press release. This is why you can't trust. We just talked about with the Ted Hope essay, information is not reliable. Let's just watch a little bit more of this. Now I'm laughing.
Real world heroes of the environmental struggle, with one even named after me. I've been involved in efforts to protect our natural world and her inhabitants for decades.
Oh my God.
You're going down.
Eco Warrior Barbie.
Anyway, I'm just fighting for the environment.
Oh, this has to be a joke.
I'm so excited about this new Barbie and this new, cleaner future for us all. Barbie can now safely return to the earth and the sea, just like all of us someday.
This is not Brother Freddy.
Oh. I can't.
You see what it said? Training the kids of whatever tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or
I can't wait to get my daughter the SJW pack for Barbie.
Okay. Obviously a joke. It's obviously a joke because I received a follow-up press release saying, okay, here's the follow-up press release.
Okay.
Actually from Mattel. It says press at corporate-mattel.news. Eco Warrior Barbie is a tasteless hoax.
Okay.
And it says reports that Mattel is releasing a mycelia Barbie made from decomposable material are entirely false. Mattel will not be lobbying the federal government for a ban on plastics or otherwise changing its business or production practices. Mattel is the victim of a hoax perpetrated by trolls toying with the emotions of Barbie fans everywhere, said Michael Pellegrino, Senior Director and Assistant General Counsel, Mattel. We will expose them and bring the full force of the law against these bullies. Mattel is all about fun, and this is not fun. The video we watched is from an account called Mycelia Barbie on YouTube that has 20 subscribers.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And it says, additionally, Daryl Hannah is not a Mattel partner, nor is this is a joke. But now I don't get it. Is the fake press release and I'm going to forward these to you, Alan. Maybe you want to do a story on the website. I'll forward these press releases to you. I forward a lot of.
Now I'm curious.
Okay, so I'll send them both to you. What are people in the chat? What are they saying? What do they say about this? At least look, you can't deny it wasn't entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind that we were I was initially punked because when I got the first press release, I thought, well, this is crazy. We got to talk about it on the show. Then I got the second one and I'm like, well, we still have to talk about it on the show. Just because I want to alert people that if they see someone, I just sent it to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing to me that Mattel is taking a stand.
Let's go to your comments and questions here. Look, a fun joke. It was a fun joke. We all got to laugh, right? Film threat from Rumble, Lord Shack's Alanism, like autism, but with more Alan. I love Alan. Alan's great. So much. You know what Alan is filled with? Gratuity. How would you define exploitation, Alan?
Exploitation? Gratuitous. Gratuitousness.
Buford T. Justice for $99.99. Wow. Thank you, Buford. It's fun talking to you on the news.
Wow. Thank you.
Just to continue from earlier, I wasn't saying that the indie market didn't provide something for everyone. I was saying the quality needs to increase substantially across the board, even for movies I like. For every one movie that I like, I see 10 that are awful. First of all, you are 100% correct.
Mm-hmm.
And look, we review everything at Film Threat. And by that, I mean, we review everything. Not everything's great, but it's like, I look at like, okay, is it a genre that I like? Like, I like exploitation movies. I really loved Mad Heidi. And I agree. I think AI is actually going to help indies get the production value higher to match Hollywood. That is where the real threat is if indie films, independent filmmakers can make something that's as good, at least special effects and production quality wise, as good as a Disney Plus Star Wars show, game on. That is coming. So, but I agree, Buford, you and I are in total agreement, but what I like to do is kind of the cream rises to the top. Alan and I try to tell you about the indie films worth discussing. We're going to talk about a movie in the next couple of weeks. And I think, Alan, you're interviewing the director.
Yes. In fact, they're asking me to approve a quote right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've already reviewed this film on the website.
Yeah.
The movie is called The Pod Generation. Look up the trailer. Go to the Film Threat Trailers channel. Check out the trailer for Pod Generation and check out our Film Threat Interviews channel, separate channels. Some people just want trailers. Some people don't want the trailers. They want our live streams and videos. Same with our interviews. Alan just did 2 amazing interviews. I watched them this morning, Alan.
Oh, you saw the...
One of them I was involved in. Yeah, it was great. And the other one you did yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, that was... it was interesting to talk to a producer about the strike and hear from his perspective. I don't know that he necessarily gave us anything groundbreaking, but, you know, he explains why movies cost $200 million to make.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, so check out the Film Threat Interviews channel. A lot of it is inside baseball about indie film, but filmmakers that don't normally get the spotlight, a lot of indie filmmakers. Occasionally we get some, you know, interesting people like Stephen Merchant, who you spoke to. That's one of my favorite interviews you've ever done.
That was a fun interview.
That was great. And then
he gave us so much time too, which is even better.
We have an interview coming up today in about an hour too with the director of Mobland, a movie that opens on Friday starring John Travolta. The director of Mobland is going to be here. But also this Friday we're interviewing Jackie Martling from the Howard Stern Show. There's a documentary about him called Joke Man. And it's, I don't know if it's out now or it will be out by Friday.
It is out. I believe it's on VOD now, but it is out.
Yeah, so we're talking to Jackie Martling on Friday. Be with us live. Be with us live. We'll talk to Jackie together. MK Solid 82 for 199 says, I liked seeing Chris's 70s style kitchen. Oh, I'll go one further. It's a 1950s style kitchen. And not just any kitchen, MK Solid 82. It is Betty Draper's kitchen from Mad Men. I'm a fan of Mad Men. Obviously, I've watched all the seasons of it. I'm watching Mad Men, probably season 1, season 2. I'm looking at Betty Draper's kitchen, kind of has a bar and a kitchen and this kind of very specific woodcut design at the top. And I'm watching Mad Men. I look over at my kitchen. I watch Mad Men looking over at my kitchen. Same kitchen. The building where I live in Pasadena was built in the 1950s. And the parts of the building where I live are parts from a decommissioned naval vessel in the 1950s. And parts of it were used to make this building. And I just live in a very unique space. And I really love it here. I just need more space. So I'm kind of looking to move at some point. But yeah, you're right. You know what I'll do for members? For members, I'll do a cooking stream. I'll just do a live where I cook. And my cooking is just like, cast iron skillet, throw in some spices.
Yeah. And you have an electric oven, right? You have an electric oven, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
kind of the stove is probably from the 70s, but the kitchen and the building 1950s. I love it. I just need more space. Thank you for that. Paulo Opina for 40,000 COP. Alan,
40,000.
40,000.
How
Alan,
can you afford that?
look at
That's
that pot. Can you
amazing.
look it up?
Yeah, it's ConocoPhillips stock. No, let me.
Alan, look it up. Alan, counting on you.
There we go.
Alan, what is 40,000 COP? Alan,
We are now the owners of 40,000 Colombian pesos.
what does that translate to?
$10.
Oh, well, that's generous. Thank you, Paulo.
Yeah, thank you.
But I thought life in plastic was fantastic. I've been fooled.
Well, thankfully it was fake.
Love that. Okay, more of your comments. Geek Truth 64, who's a member, says, just make the Barbies out of those paper straws at Starbucks. Give the people what they want. You know what's so funny? I actually don't mind the paper straws because I grew up with paper straws when I went to elementary school in the 70s. We had paper straws and a little carton of milk. You could get chocolate milk or white milk. I don't know if they still do that. Now they just give you Mountain
You need to
Dew.
move to Orange County.
Yeah.
we're still using plastic down here.
Imperfect says, how did they get that actress? Was she AI? I think that was actually her, right? I mean, I think it's a joke. It's fine. Daryl Hannah was actually her. I don't know.
That was her.
Littlest Teapot, literally the only thing that indicated it was a joke was the Greta Barbie. Yeah, it felt a little too real just because we live in clown world. It felt incredibly stupid. It's something that, like, that ad looks like something that you'd see on Normal World.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that Dave Landau and Garrett do on the Blaze, that show. It's a comedy. It's like a sketch show, but they do podcasts. I might be on that show. I might be on the show. I don't know. I'm not going to get my hopes up. Pilgrim Media for 5 says, will movies like Barbie create an army of cat ladies in the future? Like there isn't one now? Like there isn't one now? There you go. And then Cyber Chud 2077. Chris was the first one to tell me about Sound of Freedom. That's indie. I saw Sound of Freedom on July 3rd, the day it opened, not July 4th. And yeah, I mean, we talked about it. You could look up the review on there. But yeah, no, when I see a little indie movies coming out, I jump right in. And oh my God, this is a really good idea. Sons and Shadows says, call it gourmet. Oh, do not let me forget that, Alan. We'll do.
So
we'll
what? For if we do a meetup, it's going to be called Gourmet, or this is your cooking channel.
Exactly. Gourmet will be the cooking stream. Maybe it'll be for members only. I'll just like cook and answer your questions. Go Party Time just became a member. Well, thank you for that. Go Party Time. Well, there you go. Look, it was fun while it lasted, but it's not real. I do need to also let you know about something that is very exciting news for our channel. You all saw the trial, right? Well, guess what? We have brought back, by popular request, DVDuesday Is Here. DVDuesday now is going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays every week from now and through the holidays. I shot 40 episodes of DVDuesday. This is by popular demand to celebrate the release of Attack of the Doc on Blu-ray. To celebrate that release, I shot 40 episodes of DVDuesday, which is basically me going through my personal collection and telling you about DVDs that you may not know that exist and whatnot. So it's like rare DVDs, bootleg DVDs. I talk about some laser discs I have. I kind of try to group them in together. I'll talk about like Batman or Star Trek or Star Wars, and I go through like rare discs. So it's all kind of evergreen, but every Tuesday and Thursday, DVDuesday, please comment in the chat. I'll be reading the comments. So we've got these episodes that go from now through the end of the year. I'm looking for feedback. Should I make them? The episodes are about 3 to 4 minutes each, kind of like the original DVDuesday on Attack of the Show. And I go through like a lot of, like rare, weird stuff. And then some stuff you might not have ever heard of. I talk about a movie called Inside Moves, which was directed by Richard Donner after he did Superman. So, yeah, I don't know. This was literally, I've asked this question. How come you just don't do DVDuesday? It's like, well, guess what? I just did. So there you go. Here's the first episode.
So you think you know Wix.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a commercial.
I know.
Yeah,
hey,
we gotta monetize it.
I'm very
Gotta
happy about
monetize it there. But there, okay, this is really meta. That is my living room area, but we dressed it to shoot these. So I have a table, and if you look carefully, that's a table that is a cassette tape. It's a giant cassette tape table, and I love that table, but now I don't have room for it. But you can see in the background, we kind of dressed it up, and so there you are. Every Tuesday and Thursday episodes. Comment in the, I don't want to watch this. I've already seen it. But please put your comments in there. I'll look at them. Are you looking for certain topics, feedback on it? And if it's popular, we'll continue it next year. But every Tuesday, Thursday, new episodes. All right. Now, let's talk about it. Let's talk about one last thing. One last thing here. What?
No, I'm just reminiscing about the weekend.
Alan and I want to hear what you think. Alan, you and I attended Midsummer Scream. Let me just say this. No one was wearing anything except a black t-shirt. And when I looked at the dealers, I'm like, do they have any, like, what if I want a beige or a blue shirt? Zero. It's literally like Halloween vomited at the Long Beach Convention Center. I had a blast. Alan, what was your experience at Midsummer Scream?
Yeah, it was fun. I think we've made it clear I'm not exactly a horror person, and one of the presentations we went to was indicated that very much. But it was a lot of fun. You promised me there would be naked women, and there weren't.
No, scantily clad.
All right.
Scantily clad. Okay. Does anyone
know? You said so much so I couldn't bring my daughter, and I'm like, I could have brought my daughter.
Look, I've gone to Monster Palooza, and they do these makeup demonstrations, and there's literally a topless woman in a thong having makeup applied to her.
That didn't happen this weekend.
Well, it generally happens, but I just bought my tickets for Son of Monster Palooza, which is at the Burbank. It starts Friday, October 13th. Wait, that's not it. But we had a great time. So the big presentation. So we looked at all the booths. I saw a girl there. I'm going to put it on my personal Instagram. My personal Instagram is that Chris Gore. There was a girl dressed as Frankenhooker. I love that movie. She could even do I can't do it. The weird thing with the mouth. Oh my God. I'm going to put it. I'll do it like after the stream. I'll post pictures from Midsummer.
By the way, friend of Film Threat, David Dasmalchian was there. He was doing a reading of H.P. Lovecraft, I believe.
It was great. Had a blast. We will be back next year. But the big thing that Alan and I saw was a presentation for the film Saw X, which is the 10th Saw film. Alan, have you seen any of the Saw films?
I've not seen any of the Saw films, nor do
How
I
dare
plan
you?
to see any of the Saw films.
How
Yeah,
dare you?
and let's just, I mean, I think it's a compliment that I do not want to see this movie to the filmmakers, that this movie is so horrific, so gory that I won't see it. I sat through half of Terrifier 2, you know, and I couldn't take it anymore. I had to shut it off.
Terrifier 2 is pretty bloody. I mean, it was bloody for me.
Yeah.
And my last name is Gore. So
exactly.
yeah. This is our couple name now.
Yes. Very cute.
GoreNg.
Yeah, we should have our own haunted house next year.
Felt cute, might delete later. All right. So GoreNg. I'm learning what the kids are saying. So we were there, Saw X, the presentation. They debuted the trailer for Saw X, which I thought was very good. I'm a fan of the early films. I think it kind of went off the rails. Jigsaw and Tobin Bell are back. The trailer is online. So check that out. And then they showed us a specific scene. Even I looked away at this scene. You've got, I'm not going to go into graphic detail. All I can say is this guy wakes up and he has this mask on and there are 2 vacuum tubes stuck to his eyes. It's in the poster, so it's not that big of a spoiler. It's in the poster. You kind of have to, it's like that second read. You look at it, but it was pretty awesome. So,
yeah, I mean, we got to talk to the production designer who built the traps in this movie, and to me, it was just interesting to realize that it's not as simple as you think, because it's one thing to build the traps and make it complex as it is, but then you have to film the damn thing. Then you have to pour it with blood, and then you have to get certain camera angles so it feels like you're in the trap itself. And
right. Well, which I thought was fascinating, how they kind of make you feel like you are in the trap and you are the one faced with the moral dilemma. But you left early out, so that was great. Look, I will be seeing that movie, Alan. You don't have to see, Saw X. I'll see it. But you left early. You didn't go to the party.
I didn't go to the party.
Well, guess what? This is what it was like to be at the party. And we might have to talk over this a little bit because there's music.
Yeah, there's music.
Check this out. It was fun. It was super fun. I'm trying to be like Evil Dead style. You like the camera work? You like my camera work here? What do you think? Good. Pennywise? The Pennywise guys are always creepy. I think that's my buddy John. Some nerd reactor, but it was dude, you should have stuck around. A dancing Pennywise. So there you go. I always get creeped out by those nurses. So look, it's a lot of fun. It's sort of a precursor to Halloween. So I had a good time. Next time, stick around for the party. I was trying to emulate like the Evil Dead sort of roving spirit. You see what I was trying to do? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right. So you missed out on the party, but we'll do it again next year. All right. Let's go to your chat comments and questions, and then we're going to launch right into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I promise we're talking TMNT. I promise. But real quick, some more comments and questions. Really Old Movie says, thanks again for signing my copy of Attack of the Dock at Comic-Con. That was fun. I had a blast there. I hung out with Frank at the Asylum Press booth, and we're talking about getting another booth at LA Comic-Con in December. It is December 1st through the 3rd, LA Comic-Con. Put it on your calendar. I am trying to convince Gary Beekler to attend the con. Alan, will you be there?
I will be there. Absolutely.
All right, good.
It's definitely one of the highlights of the year.
Hey, Sons and Shadows gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Geek Truth 64, thanks for talking physical media again, Chris. There is still a passionate fan base there. We'll check it out Tuesdays and Thursdays. I mean, did I want to drop 40 episodes at once? It would have been over. Just, let's sort of, because I want to get feedback, because I want to make it better. So there you go.
By the way, just to remind you, when the apocalypse happens, streaming will not be around. And so
streaming won't exist.
Yeah, so all you have is that physical media. So,
well, okay.
Keep on it.
Good question from Spidey Sensei 72. How is Saw X a thing? Didn't the lead character die from cancer? Well, that's true. Yep. This movie chronologically takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2. It kind of fills in the gap. I don't want to say how.
If you watch the trailer, the cancer storyline plays a big part in this movie.
Cancer is a big part of the storyline. So it is chronologically in between the first two Saw films. Billy Baloney says, should make your own brand of instant ramen, GoreNg. Well, there you are. Saw X Electrocution Boogaloo, says Spidey Sensei 72. And your Muslim uncle is here. Hey, Michi Goren and Cali Man. Are you a board game guy? TMNT from IDW Games in a pizza box. Amazing game my cousin made. Check the B.
Oh, wow.
All right. Hey,
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
I have not played that board game. I have the board game of Dune, but no one to play with because Alan won't come over to my house.
Yes, I specifically will not come over to your house.
I blame you. And Alexander Dukas, is a member for 5, couldn't fit preliminary AOTD thesis into comments above. You may have opted for a different track than university, but you still wrote the book. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm just happy that it's out in the world, and there you go. Crunchy Beaver back.
Welcome. Hey,
Crunchy Beaver. Well, there you go. It's good to see Crunchy Beaver here. So there you go. This is we'll let wait, I got something to show here.
No, you gotta read it.
Somebody made this on our Discord. Somebody made this on our Discord. I'm gonna share it with you real quick here, Alan. Something to show that Crunchy Beaver is very top of mind for everyone here. Here you go. Look at this. If you become a member, you can join our Discord where people make film threat related memes. And this is, you know what? It's like a 20 on the Crunchy Beaver. But Crunchy Beaver goes on to say, I'm here, been a little busy lately. I'm about an hour behind. The beaver is always busy when it's behind. Yeah, I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to
picture it.
I mean, I guess.
What is he trying to say by that? I don't know. I just kind of no idea what that is, but thank you, Crunchy Beaver, for that. We appreciate it. Now, let's get to why everyone is here. We're going to get to it. I promise. Alan, you and I have both seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Wait, is it spelled wrong?
Mutant Mayhem. Yes, it is spelled wrong.
I'm going to correct that, and we're going to start.
Although I would submit that is a better way to spell it.
Did I spell it that way here? No, it's spelled correctly.
Is it?
In my document. Oh my God.
I'm just saying that I think my way of spelling it is better. It's not like
you mean the wrong way?
Yes.
Oh my God.
In terms of phonetically,
Alan,
the emphasis you want to put on that first May.
Dude, this is how prawn got invented. Or te. All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is here, and we're going to talk about it. We already have a review up on the website. the Film Threat. If you go to filmthreat.com, there is a review by a one Jason Delgado, who actually gave it, I'm going to share screen here, gave it a fairly positive review. Let me go to it. What is this movie on the front page of Film Threat? Alan, explain yourself.
Which is it?
Rec Room. What is this?
Yes, it's a short film. I believe it's Michael reviewed this one, but it's very sexy.
We will. This just proves we will review anything at Film Threat. What is this? All right, we've got a documentary.
Yeah, we got a documentary about firemen, and we got a
article about a film festival. We've got a review of Bobcat Moretti. This comes out on VOD later this week. Here you go.
Pencils versus Pixels.
A documentary here. Wait a sec. Is this the correct? What is this? Take the Ice.
Take the Ice. It's about the formation of the women's hockey league.
Well, there you are. I have to read my own website to know what movies are out. So there you go. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is here. It got a decent, I want to say a good review from Jason Delgado.
It did get a good review.
It did get a good review. All right, let's scroll down to the review.
And I should remind you, we gave Barbie a good review. So,
all right. So this is the look. Here's the one thing I'll say. We have many different people who write for Film Threat, probably 30 or more freelance writers. Alan is probably I would say you're among the most prolific, Alan.
Yes.
Definitely. I don't write stuff at Film Threat.
You haven't written a review in a very long time. Let's just say
no, I haven't. But I review films here with you.
Yeah. I mean, are you doing Dune 2? I think you set that one up.
Right? I think I have to do that one.
Yeah.
I have to do that one.
Yeah. I believe the last review you did was Dune.
Okay. I have a complaint about my own website. There are too many ads.
Yeah.
Look at this. These ads are annoying. I'm going to click all these off. But got an 8 out of 10 on Film Threat from Jason Delgado. Now, Jason Delgado is not Alan. Jason is not me. Alan, what did you think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem?
I was incredibly annoyed with this movie.
Why?
It's not made for me. And I really have problems with the storytelling. I mean, I can go into detail. We'll go into detail about that.
Okay.
But
okay.
there are just elements to it that annoyed me. I'm just curious what you thought, whether you liked it more than I did.
We'll get into it, but I want to hear what you, because I remember we talked about it, and I'm like, don't tell me what you think.
Yeah, I know.
I want to hear. So go through it, please. Why don't you go through the story and then tell us your thoughts?
Yeah. So this is the origin story, and it veers off from the original movies, the original TV show, and the comic books. And not in a horrible way, but for modern audiences, blah blah blah. But there's a scientist who is a lonely man, and so he mutated animals to make friends. And there's a sinister organization out there that wants this mutation technology, and they invade his lab. They steal his friends, a fly, you know who I'm talking about. And then one of the vials of ooze falls into the sewer, which infects 4 turtles and a rat. And so as the years roll by, all of the mutated animals grow up, and we have our four heroes here being raised by Splinter, and they want to. They love human beings. They love humans. Splinter, on the other hand, doesn't love humans and forbids them to ever interact with them. And that's pretty much what this movie is their desire to be with the humans. And then there's a nefarious plot in which the destruction of the entire human race falls in the hands of the wrong players, and it's up to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to stop this plan and save all mankind. So that's our story. You're muted.
That's the gist of it. But it's what I actually enjoyed about the film is that I felt it was very character driven. And I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that it would be more character driven. Meaning, like, okay, and to be clear, and you can feel free to completely dismiss my review because I'm not a super fan. I was probably too old when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles became popular. I remember the original comic book, which I thought was very clever. I wish I had bought more of them at the time when they came out, in the 80s. And there were all these knockoffs that I thought were hilarious, like adolescent radioactive hamsters, among others. It seemed like every month there was a new wave of ripoffs of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, to the credit of the brand, sustained, which led to obviously, comic book series, a line of an animated series, a line of toys. I remember there was a video game for Xbox 360, which they made the achievements so easy that I got a perfect 1,000 score on that to boost my gamer score. Of course, there were the films, and I was not a fan of the movies. I thought it looked weird. Maybe it was just for me, the technology wasn't quite there. But
I mean, I will say the movies, I was a Jim Henson nut, and this comes from the Jim Henson Creature Factory, and I think that's why I like the movies more, just because I like Jim Henson.
Well, I just think that I wasn't the right age to become a super fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So
yeah,
let me just say,
the Turtles came out in 84.
Right.
So I'm just about to graduate from college when they first came out, and I think you were a little past that.
Yeah. So no, I was just getting into college.
Yeah.
So long and the short of it is, not a super fan, aware of the brand, found it always entertaining. But I wasn't like, if they're changing the lore, one, I wouldn't notice, and two, I wouldn't care. And that's just because I am a casual fan, and I had a good time watching this film. Probably also because of two factors. One, my expectations were incredibly low. I had no interest in seeing this movie, didn't care. It was just, I'm going to see it because our movie meetup group decided, let's go see it, right? So we all went to go see it. And my expectations were like, this is going to be, I just want to get it over with. And I had a good time, mainly because the thing that worked for me, I feel that they all acted like real teenagers. The big thing, which is why I feel it's very character driven, is that they just want to be accepted. They want to be friends with Human. And of course, Splinter, played by, this is great, played by Jackie Chan, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I have something to say about that.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it. Splinter.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it in a second. But I thought that was cool. I thought that their interaction was fun. They kind of made it a bit modern with them. It's like they're doing stunts for a camera, like making TikTok videos or whatever. They never mentioned a specific platform, but they're making stunt videos like you would do if you're on a skateboard or whatever. I found their personalities to be much more distinct in this than previous incarnations that I've watched. They seem to be very different in personality, size, stature, and whatnot. I found it charming after a while. They acted like real kids, and all they want to do, which I feel that this is a high school thing. What do you want more than anything? I just want people to like me. Okay. So what are the mutants? What is the mutants' big problem? This is very simple. And by the way, this is a kids movie that I believe can be enjoyed by adults, can be enjoyed. So, all the mutants just want to be accepted and not seen as something grotesque and monstrous. That's it. And both the antagonist and the protagonist, they kind of want the same thing, which is really interesting. It did set up, without spoiling anything, it did set up a world. There was a big so-called controversy. It was a non-controversy for me that April O'Neil, they race swapped. I didn't really care. I found that she was kind of funny in the sense that she was kind of a loser, and she wants to be this journalist, but no one takes her seriously. She ends up getting the moniker of Puke Girl, which in a scene that I thought was hysterical. I thought that was really funny. it was endearing. I do sort of am annoyed. They could have kept that same character, this sort of replacement of redheads. They always just take redheads in movies and just replace them with non-redheads. There's a
not that it's not just it's black.
Right. It's always one way. And I'm like, look, I just feel like it's just a little annoying because it's so consistent that it annoys me that one specific type of character is always replaced by so I just think why would you do that? Like, who cares? Can anything just, look, I'll be surprised if the Fantastic Four are cast and are all white people. That will shock me. I guarantee. Here's my prediction on the Fantastic Four real quick, because it's rumored that Matt Smith of Doctor Who may be cast as Mr. Fantastic. Ben Grimm will be cast by a black actor, a black male actor. And because he just transforms into an orange rock guy anyways, whatever. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, can we just, like, for once, just stick with the source material? And I could care less about the ethnicities of the people that are doing the voice acting. I thought the voice acting was very good. I thought it was very good. So look, is it the best movie this year? No. Did it exceed my expectations? Yes. Why? Because my expectations were kind of in the toilet. So, or in the sewer, so to speak. So I had a good time with it. Is it a great film? No. I'd say a 6.5, mainly because I had a good time. It's between a 6 and a 6.5 out of 10 for me. I had fun. Alan, your thoughts?
Yeah, let me tell you what's wrong with the movie.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Look, from a broad perspective, and putting my critic hat on, the storytelling in this is very juvenile. It's reductive. It's not clever at all. I mean, for one thing, the turtles have no fatal flaw. They're just wanting to be accepted by humans. That's their goal. They have no weaknesses to overcome in this movie. Then look, Hollywood tries to be virtuous, virtue signal that they're diverse and they want to better handle other cultures. And so let's think this one through. Splinter, played by Jackie Chan, who is Chinese. He speaks with a Chinese English accent. He is teaching his children the ways of ninjutsu, which is Japanese. And that's where they're going to learn their martial arts style and become ninjas. And how do they do that? By watching kung fu movies. Look, this is a little bit nitpicky, but the thing is that when Hollywood tries to be virtuous and say, "Hey, we're bringing Asian culture to it," they get it wrong. I'm okay with Jackie Chan being the voice of Splinter. They were trying to get a high-profile Asian actor, fine. But when you start mixing things around, like they're trying to be ninjas, a Japanese fighting style, and yet they're learning it through watching kung fu movies, it just shows this laziness that Hollywood writers have gotten into lately. And this movie is just indicative of all that. The story is just, it's like, quite frankly, Splinter, being their dad, he's almost irrelevant until the end. He's just a guy who sits at home and wonders where his kids are and throws all these rules. You're grounded. You're not grounded. That's the relationship that he has with the kids. Don't visit humans. There's just nothing there. And then I think when you talk about this idea of destroying all humans, the idea here is Splinter hates all humans, and so does the Ice Cube character. It just plays out in a very awkward way, in a way that just it just feels forced in the way they try to resolve it. And I think ultimately what I'm saying here is I I've been so disappointed with writing these days in Hollywood, and this movie is just a shining example of that. There's, this movie is about the narrative moving from point A to point B to point C, and the subtext. Yeah, I guess it's there, but it's not something necessarily that we can relate to. The idea of killing all humans. I guess if you're super woke and you hate what we're doing to the environment, yeah, let's kill all the humans. But this is not something that I think kids can latch onto. You need to be able to identify with Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael. You need to identify with them in some way other than their personality. Donatello's the smart one. Raphael's the strong one, the brute. There's got to be some kind of a fatal flaw that they can overcome. The kids need to feel like that the struggles they go through are the same struggles that these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles go through, and it's just not there. And then lastly, let me talk about the animation style. It's cool, I guess. The problem is if you watch the feature that I saw beforehand, it's drawn like what they call a teenage scribble style. If you go into if you go to any teenager's sketchbook, they draw in this style, and so it's devoid of sharp lines. It's mostly scribble style, sketching style. And the problem is the action is hard to follow because the action moves so quickly that when you don't have these fine lines, it's hard to understand what's happening on screen. And especially when the tones of the cartoon are so dark in tone and color, it's just hard to really figure out what's happening. And as a result, there's not really an action sequence in this entire film that I remember or thought was really cool. The only really cool thing was Kaiju Mutant at the end. And so, I think ultimately I walked away. I guess it's fine for kids. I think your kids might like it, but I think kids deserve better in the way stories are being told. Their stories are being told. I think kids can deal with more sophisticated storylines than this. And so I'm just I'm disappointed with ultimately what was presented and this idea that this is for kids. It's a very mediocre kid story. So that's my thoughts. You're muted.
Well, I'll just say this. My expectations were so low. I so didn't care about this film that the fact that I was entertained at all, and I'm like a 6.5 because I had fun and I did not expect for it to have fun. And how are you like an expert on anything Asian now?
Yeah, how? Well, I'm not an expert on ninjas, but I do understand kung fu and kung fu cinema.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, look, Seth Rogen is a co-writer on this. You would think he'd know better, but we clearly know he doesn't. Look, kids deserve better. That's all I'm saying here.
As an origin story, I thought it was fun. We're gonna go to questions and comments in our chat. And Alan and I disagree. Wait, so I gave it between a 6 and a 6.5 because it exceeded my expectations. Alan, what about you out of 10?
I'll give it a 5. I'm not going to see this again, but I'm
not going to see it again.
Yeah, but it's not. I'm not going to go back and say that this was a good film and you should see it. There's certainly other kids films that deserve that kind of.
All right, let's go through our. We have our special guest that's going to be joining us in about 10 minutes or so, the director of Mobland. But let's go to our comments and questions here. Jason Delgado, who wrote the review, said, we disagree on this one, Alan, but I still love you, buddy. Lubitsch touched me. Member for 12 months says, starting a new position Friday, so don't know if this will be my last stream I can see live. Hope this isn't the last time I'm here with everyone. Love to all. Well, thank you for that. MK Solid 82 for 499 says they definitely designed the new April after an angry BLM activist. It turned me off immediately. I didn't get that. I just
that's probably what they were thinking, but that's not how it was executed.
Yeah, she's Puke Girl. I like Puke Girl.
Yeah.
Jericho Leon, Jackie Chan was the master in the new Karate Kid. They were confused along.
Yeah, it should have been the Kung Fu Kid.
And LatinoSlant says Gore on crack, Alan on point, and goes on to say for 5, LatinoSlant says no ninja, no honoring of their weapons, and no cowabunga, dude.
Yeah,
I'm out. But that's
See,
for you got to save something for the second movie.
So this was my biggest sticking point about this. Master Splinter, they call him Master Splinter for a reason. He's the older gentleman, the more world worn. He dispenses wisdom to the teenagers, to the turtles. Right. He doesn't do that in this one. He's just a cranky father.
We've got Feeling Dangerous 113 has been a member for 1 month and says, "Hi Chris, Talk to Me was fantastic. Great recommend." By the way, I'm not recommending Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm saying I had fun with low expectations.
Well, 6.5 is a recommendation, Ed.
You think so? It's a mild recommendation.
It's a mild recommendation at Film Threat.
Well, Davina Duckworth says Chinese, Japanese, same thing.
Yeah.
Zavin says it's the joke from Blazing Saddles come true. We'll take the blacks and Chinese, but not the Irish. Hey, I'm Irish. I'm Irish. Daniel T says, LMAO, Chris has all these good things to say. Then Alan comes in with, let me tell you what's wrong. What's wrong with that? I look, Alan and I disagree more often than not, but like, yeah. I want to hear his opinion on it. I can listen to Alan's opinion. I don't have to agree with it.
Yeah, I was going to complain that, how does she have the O'Neill last name? Then I realized her uncle is Shaquille O'Neal. So,
well, there you go. Juxtapose says that puke scene was not funny. That scene made my kid want to leave.
Oh, the puke scene was great. I like the puke scene. Sorry.
Yeah. We're almost wrapping up on comments here. Let's see. Mega YouTube 99 for 199 says much better than the overrated Spider-Verse 2. Spider-Verse 2, 9 out of 10. See, other people like it. Fletcher Williams says, I suck at games. Fletcher Williams, I suck at games channel. That made Splinter gay and Chinese for some reason.
Was he gay? I don't think that character
He's
was.
with a bug at the end.
I think the bug is gay? Female.
I'm hearing all those people say Splinter is gay. How? I don't get it. AJ Matheson for 20. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was my childhood. And the 1990 movie was so good. I was 6, and Ralph became my idol, good and bad, because it had depth and character. I just want a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle for the original fans. Give us the last Ronin. Littlest Teapot, I wanted to hate it, but because my kids were loving it so much, I had to love it as well. Crazy Cat says, Splinter is supposed to be Japanese, not a Chinese kung fu master. Alan, they made the Asian evil, says Aaron Taylor. The bug is a dude, says Sifex. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, I didn't notice
even notice it. So there you go. And TMNT from Sifex says TMNT was definitely more for kids. The art is pretty good, but the ending is rushed. And Splinter has one good scene, but is wasted overall. Right? That's fair. We're going to continue with the comments and questions, but we're going to pivot for a moment here because we have a very special guest joining us. Film opening this weekend, starring John Travolta, Friday, August 4th, is Mobland. Let me get the correct banner here. And we have the director joining the show, Nicholas Maggio. He's going to tell me how to pronounce it. Nicholas, thank you for joining us on the show today. Appreciate your patience waiting in the wings. Appreciate that. Let me put you front and center there.
No, I was having fun listening.
Oh, okay, cool. How do you pronounce your last name?
Maggio. Well, it depends if you're, of the white trash Mississippi Maggios like my folks were, or if you're coming from Sicily. But it's Maggio.
Well, thank you, Nicholas Maggio, for joining us on the show today. First of all, Mobland trailer looks amazing. Opens this Friday. I think this film looks like it's kind of riding a wave of a lot of smaller indie films that are being released to theaters with big actors dealing with a lot of themes. that we don't get to see a lot of mainstream Hollywood movies dealing with. Tell us about the film.
Yeah, it's it's my homage to classic American neo-noir. I mean, that's what I was set out to do. Very linear A to B story, no frills, brutal, poetic, beautiful, if you will, if you think so. Great. Just a really simple Southern Gothic tale. And so that's what I set out to do, and that's what we did.
How did you get John Travolta to be in this film?
Man, I got John. Well, I'd like to think it's because I wrote a great script. I think it's because Steven Dorff read the script, loved it, and he got it to John. He said, "Hey, this role's for you. Let's do it." So Steven Dorff, all the props to him. He was the one that really made it happen. So it was Steven got it to him, and once John called me, we talked on the phone, and he kind of vetted me. I passed his test, and it was off to the races.
Well, first of all, I love Steven Dorff. Whenever he turns up in something, he just adds a level of gravitas and whatnot, and he always goes for it.
Yeah.
Working with those two, how insane was that?
Oh man, Dorff. First of all, Dorff is. Listen, I'm biased. It's his best role, I think. People love him in this. He's so fantastic. He's so fun to watch. But that being said, the two of them together, and then Shiloh. Kevin Dillon. I mean, everybody did such a great job, but especially the scenes with Dorff and Travolta and Fernandez together. I mean, it's something to watch. It's like they just acted their asses off, and it's incredibly satisfying.
Great. We've got some comments and questions here in the chat.
Amazing! Can't wait.
Cool. Let's see. They're still talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but we've
even
got
better.
Delta 9 says sharp ball cap.
Hey, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Are you a Dodger fan? I just went I haven't been in years. Went to a Dodger game last week. It was fantastic.
I'm an LA fan. If the Dodgers happen to be here, that's fantastic.
That's great. And it says, "Greetings, Sir Nicholas from Solomon Thornton."
I mean, I can't argue with that.
Some more questions here. Apocalypse Tedium says, "Love noir. Looking forward to this. We need more crime cinema." Sailor Mercury, Steven Dorff, Deacon Frost from Blade.
Exactly.
There you go. And
Zavin
has a question. What themes of the South were you trying to highlight, says Zavin?
More or less, my family's born and raised, both my parents born and raised in Mississippi. I spent summers in Mississippi. I love the South. I was born in Louisiana. Mostly, not necessarily themes, more or less just the amazing setting that Northern Alabama afforded, which is where this film takes place. I'm always obsessed with the Southern culture's way of life, everything. So I really wanted to write a film that took place there. Just such a gritty, beautiful, hospitable, sometimes violent, brutal place. I just love it. So there are some themes that's for what Zavin wants to take away from it. That's up to them. But just more so the location, just such a beautiful place to shoot and to set the film.
What are some of the differences between Southern mob and your traditional New York mob?
Well, what's interesting. Okay, so look, I'm not going to lie. This is not a mob film. It's much more about the characters, about the predicament that they find themselves in, and about the mob, quote unquote mob, the Southern mob, Dixieland mob, which is a real thing out of New Orleans. But it's more or less it's another character. It's a catalyst to get us into the relationship with the characters.
On that note, Davina Duckworth asked, did Nicholas want to avoid traditional mob stereotypes in the character development?
Again, absolutely. And I think once people see it, listen, the title is its own thing. There are people above my pay grade that decided that on the name Mobland, it's not what it was written as, but it's a marketing thing. It's, they felt it was the right name for the film. That being said, I got to back everything at this point. But, as far as like a mob film, if you're looking for Scorsese, if you're looking for Goodfellas, this isn't it. This is definitely it's more of a character story driven piece than it is a mob film. And
then let's see. Solomon Thornton asks, what is your writing process and any advice for filmmakers?
Oh my God, fucking right. Sorry. Can I cuss?
Please.
I have a mouth like a sailor, so I apologize. Just fucking write, man. Just get it done. I don't care if it's bad. I don't care if you only get 2 pages a day. Just write and finish it. I write incredibly fast. I don't think that's a good thing. I don't use outlines. I don't do storyboards. I don't do note cards on the wall. I just sit down and start at the beginning and write until it's done. Again, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, and it's probably fairly reckless, but man, just finish a script. So many people talk that, they say they want to write or they're writing something, just finish it. And you feel like a god when you're done. You created this whole world, this story, it will hype you up and you'll want to work more.
Well, it's like with anything, you don't like get in shape in one day. You don't
Sure.
You don't write a book, you write a page.
Yeah.
And then just, I don't know, the average book is between 50 to 60,000 words. If you can write 1,000 words a day, you can write a book in 2 months.
Yeah.
I mean, get in that zone.
And just
Delta
get
9,
it done.
Yeah. Delta 9 says, is it set in a rural Southern setting or a Southern city like Baton Rouge or both?
No, rural. It actually takes place in a small town, northern Alabama, outside of Decatur, outside of Huntsville, Alabama. So it's a really, really tiny town. Trinity, that's where it's set, up in northern Alabama. Tiny, tiny town.
Let's see. Aaron Taylor, what was the title originally?
You'll appreciate this. I wrote it as Blood on the Porch because I thought that was by far the fucking coolest title I had ever come up with.
That's a very noir title.
I love it.
Yeah.
And very early on, producers were like, oh yeah, that sounds like a fucking horror film. Change it immediately. Fair enough. So then it went to American Metal, and that's what we shot it as, was American Metal.
Oh, I like both those titles. Jake Blue says, what can you say? Marketing people.
Yeah.
Jake Blue says, sounds like you need to adapt The Boys from Biloxi too. Love that book by John Grisham.
I don't know that book. I know of it just because of John Grisham, who doesn't know them, but I'll look into it. And I love Biloxi. What a great town.
Jesse Riley says, where was the film shot?
Shot it in Winder, Georgia, a little town about an hour outside of Atlanta.
Cool. And then LatinoSlant says, just saw the trailer. I'm in. Where did you find Shiloh? Congrats, sir.
Man, Shiloh, I was introduced to him 2 years ago, friend of a friend. It was one of those things, we weren't even talking about film. We just liked each other. We exchanged numbers. It was kind of like one of those, we should hang out sometime. Nothing to do with movies. And when I wrote Mobland, he was who I had in mind from day one. I loved him in a couple of films I've seen. Who doesn't love Evil Dead? And so I immediately thought of him, sent in the script. He was in. And once we got sign off from Dorf, he was definitely in.
Cylon Killa says blood on a Southern porch may have worked.
Man, such a hard title. I wish we could have.
They're debating it in the chat.
I love it.
Matthew Hammond says, how do you create something more than a generic crime fighting movie?
I mean, that's fair. I think like a lot of the, especially the newer neo-noirs that are more focused on the characters, more focused on the relationships. And I think that's more or less how you do it. It's more about the internal struggles. It's more about the character arcs themselves than it is about the action. And that's definitely what Mobland is. It's more of a character study and a situational study than it is about crime or violence, for that matter. We had the violence that punctuates the story, and that's it.
And Lucas Garrett says, modern day or period piece? Well, Lucas, watch the trailer.
There are cars.
Yeah, there are cars.
Yes, modern day. I would love to do a period at some point, but this one's modern day.
Lubitch Touch Me says, did you get financed before casting? If not, did having big names make it easier? And we get this question almost every filmmaker that comes on.
Yeah.
How do you get the money?
John Travolta, his name. That's how you get the money. I think there's creative ways this day and age to raise money, especially if you're playing in the independent film world. A couple $100,000 to a couple million. There are ways to do it. My producer got it to Steven. Steven gets you a little bit, and then once Steven got it to Travolta, that gets you a little bit. Kevin Dillon, Shiloh, Ashley Benson. It just kind of snowballs. Everybody means a certain amount for international and domestic sales. Mm-hmm. So once we had Travolta, here's your money. Let's go.
And where did Saban come in? Did they come in during the process or after?
So Saban bought the rights just after we finished officially. I think they were involved in some, they knew what was going on. I think they had some deals with producers beforehand, but They officially bought it after we wrapped.
Well,
After they know I didn't fuck it up completely.
Exactly.
They were
Yeah.
in.
I just think Travolta's one of the underrated talents when you look at the trajectory of his career. I mean, as a kid, I watched him on Welcome Back, Kotter, and to evolve
Yeah.
from that to, and even then he was in a TV movie that had a profound effect on me as a kid. The Boy in the Plastic Bubble.
For sure.
Do you remember that movie?
Absolutely.
It's looking
That was a
back,
really
it's
good
kind of quaint, but I loved him in that. And you just see the trajectory of his career. I'm just always a big fan of his. So I'm glad to see him doing something that he hasn't really done before. I mean, he's done crime related and action related films, but I can't wait to check it out. So Mobland is out. It's out in theaters on Friday, August,
yeah.
and then VOD at some point.
End of the month. August 27th, 29th, I'm not sure, but it'll be VOD then, and then Hulu after that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nicholas, congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. When you make another movie, don't be a stranger. Please come back and visit.
These will be the first ones, I promise.
Okay, great. All right. And go Dodgers.
All right. Thank y'all so much.
Take care.
All right,
Later.
take care, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Awesome. That was great. What a great guy, man. That was awesome. I love giving people the opportunity to like talk to filmmakers directly. And so you get that opportunity at Film Threat. You get that opportunity. Let's
Look, and to defend him, I gotta say the modern indie crime thrillers like this, you know, it does have the mob content. It's not always The Godfather. So you know,
right.
The title is apropos.
Let's pivot back to more of your comments and questions about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can tear apart the fact that I was entertained by a movie, which is the point of going to, you know what the other thing about the movie, I didn't think the movie was woke in any way. I mean, the whole thing with the bug got by me. Like, it's a bug.
I'm looking that up, but I don't remember if it was Wingnut that he falls in love with or if it was the other bug. But if it was Wingnut's a girl and the other bug's a guy.
I feel like you're kind of panning for gold for reasons to hate it in some ways. And look, I wasn't over the moon, loved it. I just was, it performed beyond my expectations. I thought it was not going to be great. And it was just fun. I mean, it's not great. Like, look, am I ever going to see it again? Probably not. Also, I'm coming at it from the standpoint of I'm a normie. I am a normie seeing this film. So there you go. Crunchy Beaver says, I probably should have said I'm getting bent over at work. Beavers are always busy when they're getting bent over. Did I read that already?
No, you didn't. That was the second one.
Thank you, Crunchy Beaver.
Yeah.
More comments.
Thank you for both super chats.
Parker CS says, hey, Chris, TMNT time Stranger Things comics get retail copies April 23rd, 2024. That'll be weird. So they're going to do a crossover with Stranger Things?
In comics,
crossover,
I guess.
X, right? X crossover.
You know, I mean, I think one of the big problems I had with it was just the lack of lore. You know, it's just animals mutated by ooze. You know, and you have the whole foot soldier. People are talking about the foot soldiers, and the whole ninja thing. You know, there's a lore behind that you could build and explore, and they put themselves in a position where they can't build anything meaningful from that. Any meaningful backstory.
I like the way that it became like, first it was, let me tell you the story and I'll tell you the long version, says Splinter. And then it's like, it keeps kind of going back.
That was a
story. Yes, it was a good joke. It was fun.
Yeah, but it's a joke at the expense of a broader story that could be told.
Look,
and
I expected to laugh. I expected to laugh 0 times and I laughed more than 0 times.
Yeah. I did like the vomiting.
The puke girl.
Yes,
Dave
puke
T.
girl
says
great.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is literally Ghostbusters 2016 of TMNT. A producer hires his friends to goof off and ad-lib most of the movie with awful non-comedy. All right, fair.
Well, look,
You know,
let's
your mileage
give
may
credit where
vary.
credit's due. Okay, these are teenagers, and they cast teenagers to play actual teenagers. I mean, I thought that was a pretty good idea. Yeah, I'll give them that.
Well, there you go. All right. Here we go. More
No cap.
comments and questions. Max Relax, who's a member, thank you for that. I've seen some small trailer or something about this. All the turtles now suffer from ADHD, and Shredder is controlling the Ritalin market, which is the only cure. I mean, maybe
That could be the sequel.
That's not.
That could be.
Well, it could be. From Rumble, BMO Better sub supporter. If this is
that's
not
a question for it.
What's that?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, read it.
BMO Better subs. If this is not made for you, Alan, then who do you believe it was made for?
Gen Z. It's definitely a Gen Z movie.
It's definitely a Gen Z movie. Yeah. And then Ram Bam 3000 says Splinter is supposed to have learned ninjutsu from watching his own master practicing. And by master, I mean the man in whose house Splinter lived when he was an ordinary rat. Yeah. That would have been interesting.
That's what I'm saying. The lack of lore. This is lore right here, and it brings depth and makes a broad. It allows you to expand this world much better than they currently have.
Right. Well, look, your mileage may vary. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's the greatest thing ever. I'm probably never going to see it again, but there you go. Teenage Mutant Ninja. Oh shoot, I missed that comment right here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had multiple crossovers with Batman, Ghostbusters, Power Rangers, and now Stranger Things, says Geek Truth 64. Fair. And another comment here from Patrick Lemire. Splinter and Alan's Mind's Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. We're going to leave it at that, folks. I want to thank you for joining us today. Everyone who came out. I want to thank all of our mods. Lord Thoth. I don't know if Lord Thoth is here today. No Lord Thoth. I want to thank Ms. P. Coffee. I want to thank Glenn Brown, our producer. And I want to thank you, members of our jury. Be prepared for another trial. Alan, what do we have coming up on Friday?
Oh, by the way, our mods today were Gridiron Masters and LatinoSlant. Thanks, Paulie.
Hey, thank you, Paulie. Love hanging out with Paulie. Paulie completely disagreed with me on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and
Paulie was right.
What? You know what? I think part of the fun is the conversation and the disagreement. Mm-hmm. I love it. So thank you to Gridiron Masters, LatinoSlant. LatinoSlant, Paulie has an event coming up at the end of the month that we're going to promote. Paulie, get me those graphics. He's doing a special fan screening of Blue Beetle that Film Threat is a sponsor for. So we're sponsoring it. So there you are.
Yeah, it'll be a great movie.
Fun. It's going to be, well, we'll see about that movie. We'll see about Blue Beetle. I don't think I'm going to be invited to a early screening. I'm just a hunch. I'm not going to be invited, but we need to have a larger conversation because I hear things are now changing at DC again. Like they're developing Wonder Woman 3 with Gal Gadot. What is this? DC can't get its act together. Now they brought on like James Gunn's going to fix it all. I want him to, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, it's a mess. Also, I think they need hits. They need hits, and you know, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman will bring money.
Yeah,
kind of. Except for 84. Never mind. Wonder Woman 84 was not great.
All right.
Yeah.
So
it's just an unfortunate situation. He's saddled with these movies he didn't make, and he has to do something with it. And we're in the middle of that right now.
Well, there you go. I was sent something here by Paulie from LatinoSlant. This is an event that he's doing that Film Threat is sponsoring. It's a screening of, it's a LatinoSlant Theater Takeover August 18th, 7:40 p.m. screening at the AMC Burbank Town Center 8. Limited tickets available. Go to LatinoSlant on Twitter or Paulie's channel, LatinoSlant, for how to get tickets. Do you know why I'm saying this? Because I don't know how. And that's why I'm telling you this. But that's happening. And I am a proud sponsor. So there you go.
Is that the Thursday or what day is that?
I believe it's the Friday that it opens.
The Friday, okay.
So there you go. Cool. Well, thank you for that, Paulie. More details, get them from Paulie because I don't know anything. And there you are. So there you go. That's going to wrap it up for us. One last super chat. Sneaking in, thieves stealing supplies like Foot Clan, says Tim Chismer for 199. Thank you, Tim. Big supporter of the channel. And Tim.
And we're still working on your issue, Tim.
Is it still a problem? The problem is now that he has 2 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Two
Just
separate
merge them.
instances of his film.
Well, you got Tim, you got to merge them. You got to merge them. I don't know why a giant multinational mega corporation would ignore just a regular dude. That is a crazy thing. How does this even happen? Look, man, we did our best to try to. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Email me an RSVP Latin. Is it LatinoSlant or LatinoSlant?
Yeah, Paul, you better get that.
At the LatinoSlant, which would be Italian.
LatinoSlant.
Wait, you do it, Alan. No, you do it in your best Italian accent.
Yes. A LatinoSlant at gmail.com. Now I pissed off 2.
That's getting clipped.
I pissed off 2 countries now.
That's getting clipped. Anyway, Tim, so it's a free, okay, here we go. Free movie screening. Gore will be there, hopefully. Join us, RSVP, LatinoSlant at gmail.com. It's the AMC Burbank. There's 3 AMC Burbank theaters. Paulie will send you the details. Latin X slang, says Patrick Lemire. Latini. Portuguese accent, says Portuguese slant, says Defeater Eater. Thank you for that. Yeah, so check that out. Paulie's event. He's going to be out of tickets pretty much immediately now. Yeah. So I don't need a seat, Paulie. Give a seat to someone else. I'm saying I can be there. I just don't need a seat, is what I'm saying. I would prefer the seat go to someone who wants one. So I will more than likely have already seen it by then.
Yeah, I'm not driving to Burbank on a Friday night. So
I also have to thank Ms. P. Coffee just for keeping us not, because you know how Alan and I can get. So there you go.
Yes. I didn't say
that was racist, Alan.
I didn't say that I wasn't.
Mamma mia, fettuccine, says Davida Duckworth. Paulie just wait. Is like the Introspect M says Paulie just doubled the Blue Beetle box office. Chris, a man of the people. Well, I just says Defeater Eater. I just like, well, first of all, I like hanging out with people, but I feel like I know that Paulie's bringing in like 20 students to see the film. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many seats are in the theater, but there you go. So that's going to wrap it up for us. We will be back Friday with Jackie Martling from the Howard Stern Show talking about his documentary Joke Man. We're also going to be talking about what other movies we're talking about. A lot.
I will be seeing Meg 2 in 3D.
I'll be seeing the Meg 2, The Trench. We're going to be talking about Dreamin' Wild, an indie movie called Till Death Do Us Part. We've got the producer coming on, and then we've got Jackie Martling on the show. Friday's show is going to be off the chain, as the kids say, and we appreciate you joining us. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, wait a sec. We got to get a bunch of these. F Jackie.
Yeah, there you go.
In the chat. I think he's going to be here at exactly 10:50 a.m. Pacific time.
Fingers
so it'll
crossed.
be at the end of the show, and we'll see. I have seen Joke Man. We have a lot to discuss. I'm going to, because I did some stuff for the Stern Show. So I want to talk, and I met Jackie. I'm trying to find the photo where I met Jackie at the Slam Dance Film Festival at a party. I will find that photo. I will find that photo. I'm going to find it. So F Jackie. Joke Man says Cyber Chud 2077. So there you go. Yeah, it's going to be like a Sharknado kind of situation. It's going to be Barb and Meg. Barb and Meg? I don't know. But will it be off the hook? It will be off the hook, says Patrick Lemire. There you go.
Okay.
All right. Alan, what do you got to say?
Let's get out of here.
Wait, try to.
Why is this not growing?
Wait, try it one more. Like,
We're doing the.
wait. And for anyone also, by the way, Alan knows Kung Fu.
Yep.
All right. We'll see.
We'll
We'll see everybody on Friday.
Let's get out of here.